Hello everyone, welcome back to the session of English. In this session of English grammar, we are going to continue with our practice questions, and in this session we are going to discuss practice questions on a very important topic, that is subject verb agreement. Now this is the topic of verb chapter, and subject verb agreement is where you write verb according to the subject, where the verb should agree with the subject. Okay, so this topic is very important for any competitive exam or for any exam. So in this session we are going to discuss some practice questions based on this chapter. Now these questions may have occurred in previous year examinations, or may be possible the questions similar to these questions have occurred in previous year examinations. Okay, so let's begin this session. Now first of all, in this session we will learn 25 practice questions. Okay, so we'll discuss actually 25 practice questions based on this chapter. Moreover, we will discuss each and every question in detail. It means we'll see the detailed analysis of each question. It means each and every question we'll discuss in detail. We'll see the concepts, the explanation of each and every question. Okay, so we'll discuss each and every question in detail along with the solution, and I will definitely explain you each and every question with the concepts related to subject verb agreement. So let's begin the session. Now one thing you should keep in mind before we are starting the questions, that before we start the questions, that the verb should agree with the subject. If the subject is singular, the verb should be singular, and if the subject is plural, the verb will be plural. Okay, now this is question number 1. The various consequences of the decision taken by the finance ministry was not foreseen by the bureaucrats. Now this is the sentence first of all. Now let us see each and every part one by one. The first part is the various consequences. Now what is various consequences? Various means different. Okay, which are different and which are more than one in number. Consequences means results. Okay, so the various consequences, it means different results of the decision. It means someone has taken a decision and it may have various consequences. It means many different consequences. Okay, now various consequences forms the various consequences, this phrase forms the plural subject. Okay, this is forming the plural subject. Why so? Because here we are talking about the various consequences of the decision. Okay, so we are talking about various consequences which are plural in number. Also these are the subject, because we are talking about various consequences in this sentence of the decision. Various consequences of what? Of the decision. Now this part of the consequences taken by the finance ministry, this is actually some additional information or the partitive of the sentence. So you can say that this makes the partitive of the sentence. Okay, partitive as well as attribute of the sentence. So this is from of till ministry is actually the additional information or the partitive. It means this various consequences is actually belongs to which? The decision taken by the finance ministry. So these various consequences, these are the consequences of the decision taken by the finance ministry. Therefore this the decision taken by the finance ministry, it does not matter over here. What matters is the various consequences, that is the plural subject. Okay, now we know well that we should use verb according to the subject. Now if you see this sentence, you will find that this various consequences are the subjects or is the plural subject. Okay, now after that we find a word that is was, and was is a singular verb, but here we have plural subject. So with plural subject we need to write plural verb only. So this was should be replaced with were to make the verb plural. Now if you talk about the various consequences, it means many different results, okay, of the decision taken by the finance ministry. It means which were arisen just because of the decision taken by the finance ministry. Okay, so the results that we got, okay, were not foreseen. Foreseen means predicted. Okay, it means to think about the future or to look forward uh, to the future. Okay, so this is a prediction, you can say. Okay, when someone predicts, so prediction is known as or not foreseen. Okay, are not predicted by the bureaucrats. Okay, it means they did not think about it, that what will happen in the future, okay, or what is going to happen in the future. So the various consequences of the decision taken by the finance ministry were not foreseen, because we are talking about the consequences. These are the subjects, and this was is actually the verb. Okay, so this is the verb, whereas various consequences are the subject. And for the subject we need to write the plural verb as well, so this was should be replaced with verb. Okay, so here the answer is 3, where this were not foreseen should replace the phrase was not foreseen. So this was not foreseen should be replaced by were not foreseen. Why so? Because various consequences is the subject of the sentence, and this was is actually the verb of the sentence, and both of them should agree. So if the subject is plural, the verb should be plural. So this was should be replaced with were. Okay, I hope you have got this concept. Now let us move to the next one. Now this is question number 2. The collection of paintings are impressive. Now collection, if we talk about collection, it means when we collect something, when we collect many things, when we gather many things and we form one thing. So the collection is actually singular noun. Okay, so this collection is singular noun, or you can say this is, you can say, the compulsion of many things, so it can be uncountable noun. Okay, well, we can say over here that this is singular noun. Of paintings, now of which we have made the collection of paintings. So here this of painting, this is actually the partitive, and partitive does not matter in subject verb agreement. So this is forming the partitive, but we do not, this does not matter to us. What matters is the collection. Okay, and the collection is the singular noun or the subject of the sentence. Okay, now are impressive, so we are using this are for collection, whereas collection is singular, so we need to put singular form of verb, so this are should be replaced with is. Okay, and the correct sentence will be the collection of paintings is impressive, because we are talking about the collection of paintings. We are not talking about paintings, we are talking about the collection of paintings. Okay, so collection and every collective noun is considered to be singular only, and with it we use singular form of verb. So here answer will be third, where is impressive is the correct answer. So in place of are we should write is, because the collection is singular noun. Okay, now let us move to the question number 3. The fifth and final act, it means we are talking about the fifth act, which is actually the final act of Macbeth, contain this sleepwalking scene. Okay, it means there is a novel named Macbeth. This is a novel by Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. Okay, very interesting novel, you can say. Well, Macbeth is actually a novel by Shakespeare. Okay, so we are talking about Macbeth is actually a novel which is divided into several acts. Okay, so the fifth and the final act, it means the fifth act is actually the final act. So this fifth and final are the same. Okay, it means act which is the final act is actually the fifth act of the novel. It means the fifth is the final act of the novel. Okay, so this fifth and final act, it means this is only one act we are talking about. Okay, so this is same of Macbeth. So here we are talking about only one act. Okay, so this act is actually singular, where this fifth and final are the adjective. Okay, and here act is only one, therefore this is singular subject, and if the subject is singular we need to write singular verb with it. So of Macbeth, contain, now contain is plural verb, and after adding s to a verb it converts into singular verb, so this contain should be replaced with contains. Okay, the sleepwalking scene, so here the correct answer will be second, that is contains. Now let us move to the next one. One of the terrorists of the Kashmir Valley are shot dead. Now we are talking about one of the terrorists. It means we are talking about one terrorist. Okay, and if we are talking about one terrorist out of many terrorists, so here of the Kashmir Valley, he is shot dead. We are talking about only one, and one is singular subject. Okay, and if the subject is singular we need to write singular form of verb, therefore this are should be replaced with is. Okay, so the correct answer will be one of the terrorists of the Kashmir Valley is shot dead. Okay, we cannot say are shot dead, because we are talking about one terrorist. It means one terrorist out of those terrorists which who belong to, sorry, of those terrorists who belong to Kashmir Valley or who live in Kashmir Valley. So we are not talking about all the terrorists, only one has died. It means one out of those has died. Okay, so he is shot dead. So here this R should replace with is, so the answer will be 3, where this R should be replaced with is. Okay, now let us move to the next one. The introduction of job oriented courses in the self financing colleges attract many students. Now, the introduction, here we are talking about the introduction of job oriented courses in the self-financing colleges. So this much part is actually the partitive of the sentence. Okay, this is actually the partitive of the sentence. After the noun, whenever we have any preposition and we are again writing some phrase which is like the sentence or the noun of which this part is. Okay, so this is actually known as preposition plus noun. This is actually this concept is known as partitive. Okay, and if this is partitive, of course we are talking about the subject of the sentence. So the introduction of job oriented courses in the self financing colleges, so we are talking about the introduction, which is actually uncountable. It means singular subject, and if the subject is singular, we need to write singular form of verb. Therefore this attract is plural verb, and by just adding s to a verb, it converts into singular verb. Okay, whenever we add s or es to a verb, it converts into singular verb. Therefore this attract should be replaced with attracts. Okay, and the correct sentence will be the introduction of job oriented courses in the self financing colleges attracts many students. Okay, so actually this is the introduction that attracts many students. Okay, so here we are talking about the introduction of what, that is another point, but here we are talking about the subject introduction, and for this subject we need to write singular form of verb which is attracts. Okay, so here the correct answer is third again, because this attract should be replaced with attracts. Okay, so attracts many students. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Patience as well as perseverance. Now whenever we write as well as, first of all, if two subjects are there and both are connected with as well as, okay, or any such conjunction like with, along with, together with, in this case verb should depend on the first subject. So here if you see the sentence very carefully, it is patience as well as perseverance are necessary. Now of course the first subject is patience, and this are should follow this first subject, and the first subject is singular, or you can say uncountable, because uncountable noun is always considered singular. Okay, so this is singular, and if the subject is singular, the verb should be singular, so this are should be replaced with is necessary. So patience as well as perseverance is necessary for success. Okay, so second will be the correct answer. Now let us move to the next one. In Singapore, my brother-in-law with his wife were present at the function. Now, as I told you that whenever we have two subjects and we are connecting both of these subjects with any of the conjunctions like with, together with, okay, along with, it is together with, along with, after that we can have among, besides, okay, among, besides, not to, sorry, besides, and not. Okay, I'm not saying not, I'm saying and not. This is the most important difference. Okay, and not, among, or you can say regulated by. Okay, regulated by, headed by. So these type of phrases, okay, regulated by, etc. There are many more phrases like along with. Okay, so this is also the phrase, okay, along with. So whenever we use these type of conjunctions to join two subject together, the verb should depend on the first subject. Okay, So here the verb is used according to the first subject. Now in Singapore, my brother-in-law with his wife were present. Now present at the function. Now of course, whenever we have this phrase that is with, and we are connecting two nouns or pronouns with the conjunction like with or together with, like these conjunctions, we will use the verb according to the first subject, and here the first subject is brother-in-law, and of course we are talking about one brother-in-law. So this is singular subject, and if this singular subject, we should write a singular form of verb. So this word should replace with was. Okay, so the correct answer will be, in Singapore, my brother-in-law with his wife was present at the function. Okay, now let us move to the next one. So was present at the function will be the correct answer. Now let us move to the next one, that is question number 8. Every one of the applicants have submitted its forms. Now whenever we write everyone, we need to write singular noun and singular verb with it. Okay, but if everyone is followed by of, we should write plural noun but singular form of verb. Okay, so these should be the structure. Now every one of, each one of, either of, neither of, in all these structures we need to write plural form of verb but singular verb. Okay, so every one of the applicants, this much is correct because we need everyone, that is fine. Of, that is fine. Now plural noun, that is of, sorry, applicants, that is also fine, but we need to have singular form of verb. So this have should be replaced with has. Okay, so the correct sentence will be, everyone um, has, every one of the applicants has submitted his forms, and you can say have should be replaced with has. Okay, so this is the actual error in this sentence. Now let us move to the next one. The ebb and flow of the ideas are now understood. Now ebb and flow of the tides, not as not it is not ideas, it is tides. Okay, so I must repeat the sentence for you. The ebb and flow of the tides are now understood. Okay, so we are talking about ebb and flow. Ebb and flow is actually the pair of noun or the pair of word. So here also you can see that the is used before only the first subject, but not before the second subject. Therefore this should be considered singular, and if this is singular, of course we need to write singular form of verb. So this are should be replaced with is. So the correct sentence will be, the ebb and flow of the tides is now understood. Okay, now let us move to the next one. So the second answer in second will be is. Now, knowledge of at least two languages are required to pass the examination. Again, as I told you, this knowledge is the subject, whereas this of two languages, this is the partitive, which is not required, or on which the verb is not dependent. The verb is depends on the subject. The verb depends on the subject, and the subject is knowledge. Knowledge is uncountable. Of course, it will be considered singular. Therefore, this r should be replaced with is. So the correct answer will be third, where this r should be replaced with is required. Okay, so the correct sentence will be, knowledge of at least two languages is required to pass the examination. Now let us move to the next one. The secretary and the principal of the college are attending the district development council meeting at the collectorate. Now, in this sentence, we can see the secretary and the principal. So, these are two people, two different people, which are connected, who are connected with the conjunction and whenever we write two nouns and before them we have used article before each, so we should use plural verb with it. So here are attending the district development council meeting at the collectorate. Okay, so here the sentence contains no error at all. Each and every part of the sentence is absolutely correct, because here we are talking about the secretary and the principal. So with before both of these we have the you can say we have the article. Therefore this are attending is absolutely correct. So the sentence contains no error. Okay, now let us move to the question number 12. Now this is question number 12. Either of the roads lead to the park. Now, this either means when we talk about two things, and from these two, we have to select one, first of all. Moreover, whenever we write either or neither or any one or none, any distributive pronoun, after this we write of, but after this we write plural noun but singular form of verb. Or you can say if either is followed by of preposition, it should be followed by plural noun but singular form of verb. Okay, because either makes a choice from the two. Okay, when we make choice between two, it means when we selected one out of two. Okay, that means we are using the word either. Okay, and if we have used the word either, it means we have selected one from the two. Okay, so either of plus plural noun and singular verb should be there. Now either of the two roads or roads, this is fine, but we need to write singular form of verb. Therefore this lead should be replaced with the leads. Okay, because this either makes a choice between the two, it means when we select one from the two. Okay, so here the correct sentence will be either of the roads leads to the park. It means one of these roads leads to the park. Leads. So the error is in part second, where this lead should be replaced with leads. Okay, now let us move to the next one. This is question number 13 now. One of my desires are to become a doctor. Now, I may have many desires. Of course, one has many desires. Okay. And one of my desires. It means I have many desires, but one of them. It means from many desires of mine, I am talking about the one which I make the priority, and that is to become the doctor. Okay, so here we are talking about only one desire out of many. So this one makes the subject singular. Okay, so this is subject and this is singular subject. And if we have the singular subject, we need to write singular verb with it. So this are should be replaced with is. Okay, so the correct sentence will be one of my desires is to become a doctor. It means I'm talking about one desire, that is to become a doctor, and this is actually the desires from many desires, because I may have many desires. Okay, one can have many desires in his life. Okay, one can have many desires in one's life. Now let us move to the next one. So here the answer is second, that is to become. Now let us move to the next one, that is question number 14. Now this is again a very important question. Being a rainy day, I could not go to office. Being means when person is something himself, or when this being word shows the presence of someone, or the existence or the state of someone. Now if I say being a rainy day, I could not go to office. Now there is a trick in this being sentence. What? What is the trick? Let me tell you. Suppose the sentence begins with the word being. Okay. And I say being a rainy day. Being a rainy day. I could not play. I could not play. Suppose this is the sentence. This is another sentence which I'm telling you. Okay. Which I'm explaining you. I could not play. Okay. Now look at this sentence very carefully. You will find that if I say being a rainy day, this is one clause and this is another clause. Now just match these two subjects. This is I and this rainy day together. If both of these are same, then the sentence is correct. But if they are not same, then the sentence is incorrect. Okay, of course, if you see these two things, I and rainy day, are we both same? No, not at all. I'm not the rainy day. Of course, that means the sentence is incorrect. And to rectify it, we need to write something for this rainy day, and that will be it. So if I say it being a rainy day, it being a rainy day, I could not go out. It being a rainy day, I could not play. I could not play. Now the sentence is absolutely correct. Why so? Because here I'm talking about first of all rainy day, and then I'm saying because it was a rainy day. It being a rainy day, it means the day was a rainy day. That is why I could not go. No, I could not play. Okay. So here we have used a subject for this rainy day. Now whenever we begin a sentence with the word being, we need to check whether the subject which or the word which has been said about that is equal to the subject which is mentioned in the second clause, okay, of the sentence. So if you see the sentence like being a teacher, if I say that being a teacher, I should not misguide you or mislead you. Okay, I should not mislead you. Suppose this is the rough sentence I'm making. Okay, now if you see the sentence carefully, if I say being a teacher, I should not mislead you. Now here, if you see this last the object or the subject of the first clause and the subject of the second clause are the same, yes, we both are same people. Okay, then the sentence is absolutely correct. Okay, so here if I have written being a rainy day I could not go to office, so this is one clause and this is another clause. But I and rainy day, are we same? No, not of course. Therefore before being we need to write it. Okay, because for rainy day we can only write it. Okay, now here the correct sentence will be, the answer will be first, where we need to write it being in place of being. Okay, so here we need to put it. So it is, it being a rainy day I could not go to office. Now let us move to the question number 15. The introduction of tea and coffee and such other beverages have not been without some effect. Now, here the introduction, we are talking about the introduction of what? Introduction of tea and coffee. But introduction is uncountable noun, and here the subject is in introduction. And as I told you, that after preposition, whatever noun and pronoun we have, that is actually the partitive of the sentence. But that does not matter. Verb should agree with the subject. Okay, so the subject matters, and the subject over here is introduction. And if it is introduction, of course this have should be replaced with has. So the correct sentence will be, the introduction uh, of tea and coffee and such other beverages has not been without some effect. Now let us move to the next one. So this should be has not been. Now, question number 16. The sceneries of Kashmir is very charming. As I told you in the chapter of noun as well, that Kashmir, we cannot, sorry, sceneries, we cannot make some nouns in plural form. For example, the word scenery, scenery, spectacle, or if we talk about the word jewelry, crockery, these words they cannot be converted into plural form. So the scenery should not be converted into plural form. Instead we should write scenery. Okay, because scenery is the view, is the spectacle. Okay, that is uncountable. So SCENERY. Okay, so we should not write IES, it should be SCENERY. Scenery. Scenery means the exact landscape, the spectacle, or the view of something. Okay, so the scenery of Kashmir, not sceneries of Kashmir. Okay, so here the correct answer will be first, that is the scenery should come in place of scenery. So this scenery should be replaced with scenery. Now let us move to the next one. Here we have question number 17. 9/10 of the pillar have rotted away. 9/10 of the pillar, it means some part of the pillar. Now pillar is actually uncountable. Okay, this is only one. Now suppose just go to some maths formula. If I say 2 of 5 of 10, okay, 2 upon 5 of 10, so we can say like 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, and 2 twos are 4. So 2 by 5 of 10, that can be measured. If I say the sentence is 9/10, okay, if I say 9 by 10 of 100, okay, of course 0 will cut 0 and 9 tens are 90. Okay, so 9 by 10 of 10, sorry, of 100 is equal to 90. But if I say 9 by 10 of something which is only one, okay, it means it is singular or it is uncountable. And if I'm making something out of, for example, there is a pillar. Okay, there is a pillar, and 9 by 10, it means up to this part. Okay, this has been rotten away. So this has been rotten away, it means this has been destroyed. Okay, this has got junk. Okay, so this part is just rust. uh, this part is rust. Okay, you can say 9/10 of the pillar has been rotted away. Now this part has got, you can say has got rust. Okay, now if it has got rust, of course it is destroyed or it is damaged. Now, but it is only the part of a pillar, and pillar is uncountable because it is only one, and we are not talking about the number of pillars, we are talking about some part of the pillar. Okay, so it means that is uncountable. Okay, so here pillar, when we talk about one pillar, that is uncountable, but when we talk about number of pillars, we can count them, they are countable. So only one part of the pillar is uncountable, because if I say apple, if there are many apples, I can say apples, and of course apple are countable, so I can say two were rotten away. But if I say the apple, some part of the apple, it means only apple, only we have one apple and some part of it has been damaged, so there we are talking about uncountable now. Okay, so here in this sentence, of course, this have should replace with has. Okay, now you will say that, oh ma'am, pillars are countable. Obviously pillars are countable, but if we are talking about only one pillar and we are talking about that this part of the pillar has been destroyed, it means we are talking about the uncountable part of it. Okay, that can be measured but that cannot be counted. Okay, so here the correct answer will be third, where we should write has rotted away in place of have rotted away. Okay, now let us move to the next one. The clerk was not intimidated by his boss's bullying. So here the correct answer will be no error, because this sentence contains no error. For the clerk we have written was. Now if I say boss, we can write this in this manner, bosses. Okay, we should not write this as a can. Okay, we need not write this, but this sentence, because of verb, it does not contain any error. Maybe possible this is some printing error. Okay, now let us move to the next one. A great many students have been declared successful. Now we are talking about great many. Great many means plural in number, and if the noun is plural, we should use. Sorry, if the adjective is plural, that is a great many, it should be followed by plural number of subjects. Also, have been declared, it means we are talking about many persons. So this student should be replaced with students. Okay, and the correct answer is 1. Solution is 1, where we need to write a great many students. Okay, so this should be students. Now let us move to the next one. This is question number 20 now. The Prime Minister, along with his cabinet colleagues, have been welcomed by the Chief Minister at a formal ceremony. Now, as I told you before as well, that uh, if we connect two subjects together with the help of a conjunction, we need to we need to write verb according to the first subject if the conjunction we are using are as well as, along with, no less than, and not. If we are connecting two subjects with any of these conjunctions, uh, will use the verb according to the first subject. Therefore here the answer will be second, where was welcome should be the correct uh, verb to be used. So this have been should be replaced with was. Now let us move to the next one. This is question number 21. The captain along with his team are practicing very hard for the forthcoming match. Now the captain along with his team. So captain is the subject, along with is the conjunction, and his team. So whenever we connect two subjects using the word along with or using the conjunction along with, we use verb according to the first subject, and here the first subject is singular subject, and if the subject is singular, we need to write singular form of verb. So this are should be replaced with is. Therefore the error is in part 2, where is practicing is the correct answer. Instead of are, we should write is. Okay, now let us move to the next one. This is question number 22. Our success or our failure largely depend on upon our actions. Now our success or our failure, it means we are talking about either of these, and if we talk about either of these, we need to write singular form of verb. So this depend should replace with it depends. Okay, because if the subject is singular, we need to write singular form of verb. So the error is in part second, where we need to write largely depends. Okay, now one most important thing, that in these type of questions you need to look for the only for the identification of the part that contains error. You need not rectify them. Okay, so here the error is in part 2, where we should write largely depends. Now let us move to the next one. This is question number 23. The police has arrested him on the charge of theft. The police is always considered plural noun. Okay, and if it is plural noun, we need to write plural verb. So this has should be replaced with have arrested. Okay, so here has should be replaced with have. Okay, so the answer will be second. Okay, solution will be second, where this has should be replaced with have. Okay, because police is always considered common plural noun. Now let us move to the next one. This is question number 24. Time and tide wait for none or wait for no man. Now time and tide is actually a pair of word. Okay, and whenever we have a pair of word, we always write singular form of verb with it. So this wait should be replaced with waits. Okay, time and tide waits for none. So here the answer will be second. Now let us move to the next one. That is question number 25. Now this is the last question of today's session. He as well as you like to go. Now we know very well that whenever we uh, connect two subjects together with the help of as well as and not, among, with, besides, along with any of these conjunctions, we use verb according to the first subject, and here the first subject is he, which is singular. Therefore this like should be replaced with likes. Okay, so the correct sentence will be he as well as you likes to go. Okay, so this is question number 25. I hope you understood each and every question, and I hope this much is clear to you all. I hope you have understood each and every concept that I have discussed with you, and you can practice more and more question based on this chapter. Okay, so this is all for today, and here the answer will be 2, that is likes. Okay, so if you want to learn more concepts about these type of questions, and if you want to learn more questions about or more practice questions, be connected with me. Okay, so now I'm ending this session. Till then, thanks to you.